Hello, everyone. This is Chris with Bin Chickens here with another edition of the podcast. With me tonight, I have an extremely special guest, Matt Ginger. Is in the house. What's up, Matt?
What's up?
So why don't we just start with the basics? Give us some info about yourself. What do you do? Are you any interesting anecdotes or basically anything you want to say?
Anything I want to say? Wow, that's a broad subject.
I'm already regretting it.
I don't have a whole lot. I'm a customer service agent for a company I will not name.
Good choice.
Um, and I like music. Always have. I love music.
What kind of music do you like?
I love it all. At one time or another, there's a song for every mood, every moment deserves a song.
That's quite profound, Ginger. Appreciate
Except
that.
country. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
see,
No,
this
I
is why we
like
get
some
along.
country too. I do like country too, a little bit. Some of it.
Like Merle Haggard.
I'll take some Merle Haggard. Yeah, some old country. Have you listened to the new Diplo country album?
Wait, Diplo made a country album?
He at least has a country song. Well, they're calling it country. Yeah.
This isn't that old country road song.
No, no. That's I think that's a porno you're thinking of.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna speak either way on that.
Okay, I can't remember the name of the song right now. So that might be during the conversation. I do have a bit of a memory issue. But there is a Diplo. Diplo's been trying to, my understanding, spread his wings out into different genres and bring his expertise. I do lean a little bit more towards electronic music, dance music, but I do love all forms of music, from folk to EDM to freestyle, techno, you name it.
Hmm. You
Whatever
know,
you want to call it. There's so many different genres. I'm an old man. I
yeah,
can't keep up. Can't keep up with all the new subgenres.
you're not getting into cold wave.
I am. I'm getting into not cold wave, but vaporwave. I like vaporwave.
So what is vaporwave, and why is every new genre just a hash a prefix of wave? What is that about?
I don't know. I'm still trying to understand it myself, but I do. I have gotten into some vaporwave, and I'm not even sure how to classify it. If it's lo-fi, transient, uh,
Vagrant.
it used to just be called. Yeah, I mean, it's like, to me, it's lo-fi trance, which
Okay.
is also like two trance. I grew up with trance.
Really?
Um, didn't really have subgenres, but
What are what are some of your what are some of your favorite trance tracks from back in the day that I might know?
oh boy, I couldn't name you actual songs.
Oh, you're one of those.
I am one of those.
Which 95% of the
It's more,
population is one of those.
yeah, you're either one of those or one of those. I mean, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Vein Melter. Vein Melter was one. I considered it trance.
I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna maybe
There
check
was
it out if I remember.
I don't remember if that was the artist or the song. I think it was the song. You'll have
Well,
to.
that's very
I'll
helpful.
send you. I'll send you a link, and you can put it in
Well,
if you
please do
want.
send me a link. Please do send me that
I'll
extra.
submit it for your approval.
I
But
like it.
I know I liked techno a lot when I was younger. I believe that was from the one of the and I don't know the correct pronunciation, but the Berlin Tresser, I think it was, albums. TRES.
Yes.
Oh, you remember them?
I do remember those. I'd never actually listened to them, but I remember seeing them.
Yeah, I still have a few of their CDs. That was this is about vinyl though. I don't have any of their stuff on wax, but
Why am I talking to you then, Ginger?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just waxing poetic here off the tip.
Now earlier, not earlier in this podcast because you haven't mentioned it yet, but earlier in a conversation with me, you mentioned that you are a recovering vinyl addict. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I feel like I used to have a problem buying a lot of vinyl, um, losing a lot of money. So I had to try to wean myself off of it. I slowly, to wean off, I stopped buying large quantities of LPs, and gradually weaned off by moving into 45s. I ended up getting a pretty good collection of 45s, uh, which was a lot different for crate digging because you just get like so many more for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And you do get I don't know, got more exciting because of the more rare B-sides you could find on some of the older 45s. So, and I found you could flip through them a lot more quickly uh, just by looking for the actual record labels. So there were some that I had preferences for, like Tamla or Tamla. Um, those would always stop me in my tracks if I was flipping through.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, but slowly I gradually weaned my way off, especially moving a lot. They're just horrible habit to have when you combine record collecting, vinyl collecting, and moving a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can sympathize with the incredibly large pain in the ass that moving any quantity of vinyl is. It makes you want to just stay wherever you live if you can. You just want to extend the lease or renew
Yeah,
it every year so you don't have to move them.
right. I mean, you might want to edit this out, but I think you're onto something because there should be a service that just specializes in moving your records for you.
Oh yeah.
It comes, packs them up, moves them. Just your record, just your vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah, just your records. And like even if you try to say like, "Oh, but also I have these CDs over here," and then the service could be like, "Fuck you, we're a vinyl moving service."
Right.
That's it.
And you can combine it in with a whole lot of other services, like actually cataloging people's collections for them.
You know what's funny is I was
You know?
about 20 minutes ago before this podcast started, I'm tearing through my vinyl because I'm trying to find the Fight the Power single by Public Enemy off the Do the Right Thing soundtrack. Um
Nice.
yeah, and as I was looking through, hundreds of these records, I was like, I wonder, and I don't know why your name popped into my head, maybe it's just because I knew I was going to be speaking with you soon, but I was like, I wonder if Ginger would just like organize my shit for me.
Right. I would love to do that. And there used to be, and actually, when we started discussing it, having this conversation, I, uh, it renewed an interest in me in finding out if something like this exists still, because there was a short-lived app that I liked a lot called, I believe it was called Milk Crate, where you could enter in the serial numbers from your collection and would keep an ongoing collection, your collection up to date, and you could scan barcodes also off of newer albums. So if you're out digging, you would be able to either enter in the serial number off the album or scan it off the cover, and it would tell you if you already had that album in your collection. And then it integrated into Discogs, and I started to do that. I got maybe a third of my collection in there, and then I think the app disappeared. But it was great. It
Yeah.
was so great. And I was at the time telling people I was like I would do this for people. I would just go and sit and just go right through people's collections, and then it was nice because it would just show up in your Discogs account too. And I think it disappeared. And I don't know. I don't know if there's something similar out there. There's got to be. Somebody had to do something with it, or Discogs maybe made a new app, or I don't know. But it worked pretty smoothly. But you just had to
Yeah.
sit down and go like record by record, and some of them were hard. I don't know if they're rare or not, but some of the older stuff, especially like old jazz albums and things like that, it can be hard to find a serial number. Sometimes they don't match up on there. But for the
Yeah.
most part, I'd say it was 90, 99, 98, 97% popped right up in there. Sometimes, and then with the serial number too, you would know, what pressing it was from or what country it could have been from.
Sure.
So if you didn't have a lot of that information, I have a good deal. I have a separate stack that are just kind of like loose albums without covers or um, any other materials, just kind of loose.
Yeah.
Because I used to also, I got some records I would go to the estate auctions, and I would get some that way. Or sometimes there'd just be, I got a lot of comic books this way too, where it would be like the end of the auction, and they'd be like, you know what, $25 for these 100 albums. Who will take them? And it was
Yeah.
just random stuff.
Yeah. Did you ever find any good stuff in there?
Yeah, I mean it's debatable. I still haven't listened to a lot of the albums that I have. I don't really know. I would love to go through and check some of them out, but
Yeah.
nothing like spectacular. A lot of surprises though. Like I would have different times I would sit down, like grab a stack, and sometimes too they wouldn't be in the right covers, so I'd have like a really cool cover, um, and think that I had a great album, but the album wasn't in. It would be like something from something else entirely.
Yeah. That's always very
Besides the
frustrating.
cover. But I'm trying to think of any surprises that I got that way. Not really. Nothing that pops up off the top of my head. And if I came across one now that it was like, oh wow, I don't even know I had this. This is awesome. I wouldn't know where I got it from if it was one of
Yeah.
those. But I've had a few of those that
Um,
were wow. Like the album cover itself is all ripped up and you can't see what it is, and then there's a good record inside. There
oh,
was one that like funky soul party or something. Just surprised that it was really good.
yeah.
But
I
I digressed a lot, I think.
That's fine. That's I encourage the digression. Um yeah, I have a Discogs account, and I when I first started it up, maybe like a year or two ago, I started to like log all my shit and catalog all the stuff that I had. Um and I'm up to like 800 something, and then I stopped, and now I haven't like resumed like where I left off. And
Right.
so then, like 6 months ago, when I did start to be like, okay, I gotta fucking just knock this out because I need to know what I have, and then I didn't remember in my collection like where I had left off. So then I was like double
Right.
checking. I
I
was double
know.
checking. It was so annoying. And then I fell off with it again, and now it's like but my purchasing of records has never stopped. So it's like now there's like extra stacks here and there, and then like I pull a record out that maybe I already logged, but I to like play or listen to or to take to Hartman's New Year's Eve party, and then uh, it's just a mess. It's a mess. I thought when I went to Australia. I think you know this earlier in the year, and I went on some good deep digs at various record shops, and
Nice.
Yeah, and this one dig I went to, my buddy Max, shout out to Max in Australia. Um, he had his buddy who had like, I don't even know how many records, maybe like 10,000, and that number may be way off, but it seems like maybe it was 10,000 or maybe it was fear, I don't know. But he used to have a storefront and then he didn't when I was there, but he was like, if your friend wants to come dig through all this shit, like I'll just, I'll open up the shop and he can just like dig through it. It's not really organized that well. So, but he had a lot of dance music. So I was like, sweet, let's do this. So I went over there and did it. And like the second best record I found was the song Days Go by Dirty Vegas,
Oh yeah.
but it was the Paul Oakenfold vocal remix. And
Whoa.
it's a really, and I mean I love the original version, like, and the video is cool and the original version was great. But this Paul Oakenfold remix is really tight, and like and I mean it came out like fucking like 13 years ago or something, but
Right.
so I picked it up and I was like, oh sweet, I finally fucking have this on vinyl. So that was like 3 months ago. And digging through my records in the last like 2 weeks, I've found like two other copies of that fucking record. Like
Right.
I've had it for years, but it was just like in a different, like a sleeve. Like I had the generic sleeves, like just the generic black sleeves, like
Mm,
promos and shit. And then the one that I found in Australia, at least, it was like the nice, like artistic cover, like with an image and everything. So that was cool.
that's
But
good.
yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me quite a bit too. That's why I was really into that Milk Crate app, because it would tell you, oh, you already have that record before you bought it.
Yeah, it would say, "Hey, dumbass, put it
That
down. You already
was
bought this."
that was the main selling. Well, it was. I don't think it was even a paid app. So I mean, at that time in my life, I was like, I need this.
Yeah.
If I get one more Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass album, that I already have.
It's always Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
It
Always.
always is. Every time I see him, he he must have had more albums printed than anybody else,
Yeah.
or nobody wanted to keep his albums. Yeah.
I think it's more of the latter for sure. That's
I
what
don't think there's an artist that you see that. Can you think of an artist you see more of their albums when you're digging than Herb Albert?
no, that's why you
It's just
naming him
me.
is
It's
like
not just
it
me. It's
it's spot on. It's spot
yeah.
on. That fucker is ubiquitous. I mean, he's fucking everywhere. Um, what was I going to? Oh, so sometimes like when I've been looking for like movies at like used movie stores on DVD or whatever, and I can't find it, I'll convince myself that like it must be because the few people who bought this movie 20 years ago have always held on to it because it's so good. But then I realized like that's just a lie I tell myself because I'm talking about movies like Not Without My Daughter, but with Sally Field and like just just not Oscar nominated films. So you don't currently buy vinyl. I mean, you've given up the ghost, like not even the 45s?
It's been a while. I mean, you know what? I've gotten some stuff from off of Discogs,
Yeah, yeah.
but I haven't actively gone out and fed the monkey or in a while. But I've also just moved. Obviously, you know that I just moved recently,
Oh,
uh,
right.
and the records are they're out of the boxes, but
That's
I don't know. I wasn't shopping at all for a while. I was like, I'm not buying anything new until I'm moved in.
yeah.
And yeah, I just haven't had any time. I missed record store day this year.
Oh man, what were you thinking? What's wrong with you?
Working now. I'm working now on the weekends. It's a
Oh,
trade off, so
all right, lover boy.
keeps me out of trouble. But no, I just haven't gone out
Was there
digging.
any was there anything from the list, from the record store day list that you had like did you get to look at the list at least? Like did you like want to pick up
I
certain
did,
things?
I did not even look at the list. I
Oh
didn't even use
man.
myself.
Yeah, you
It
have
has,
fallen all the way off.
it's yeah. I mean, it's a lot to keep up with anymore. It's so popular. And I just saw too, and I don't know the stats on this anymore either, but I just saw that Garth Brooks just released some giant uh like LP box set that broke some kind of sales record for vinyl.
Oh, geez.
So it's good to see like the vinyl industry is healthy,
Yeah.
seems.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, there's so many things to keep up with for record store day alone. There's just so many albums and so many like special releases for record store day. I couldn't even keep up with it this year. And it's been gradually, I think I'm just getting older.
Well, I mean, you're definitely getting older. I mean, every day you're a day older than you were the day previous. So,
It I think you're right. It just definitely seems like there's I'm gonna have to look into that, but
I mean,
I think
don't quote me on that. Um, yeah, this year they re-released the New Jack City soundtrack on Record Store Day.
nice. See, I need a podcast to listen to so I can keep up with this.
Yeah, well, last year we did one like I think the day before Record Store Day when we went over to
Yeah,
Hartman's place.
yeah, we did last year. So I had more information last year. This year I had none. And
So-
my current job, I don't get to surf the internet at all.
oh
So
man, that's the worst.
that's like 10 hours of my day gone that I can't,
Yeah,
can't make that up. I mean, you need a lot of time to research record store day.
you're off the grid for 10 hours. That shit's gonna cost you knowledge and
Yeah,
information.
yeah. It's just like completely cut off from civilization.
I I this year actually from the turning of the calendar year into 2019, I've been buying records off Discogs like a fucking fiend. Like I can't stop. It's like I was trying to I tried to start it like just like once a month I'll buy like an expensive like record that I've always wanted to have. And then it was like that lasted for like 8 minutes in my head. And then I was like, okay, once a week, I'll just buy like one record a week. Um, and then it's like now it's like I've been looking at like because they keep the purchase history in there, and it's
Uh-huh.
like there have been weeks where it's like every other day I'm just there's another fucking order for something.
Right. No, see, this is exactly where this is exactly where I started, where I was at, where I felt I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I have a problem. Like I can't get groceries this week because I bought an album from Discogs and like three from through Dusty Groove.
Yeah, and
And
the one
now
from
I'm eating ramen. What can
and
I do?
I'm waiting for my vinyl to arrive, so I can't even listen to it. And at
Right.
least as I'm eating my ramen, think, well, this was worth it. You're just waiting there for the vinyl to
Right.
arrive.
But then I discovered, some place you can go and get like 1045s for $1, and you can get that same feeling
Yeah,
and not going broke. But now I just have like boxes and boxes of 45s that I still need to go through too. And then the whole other thing is like, how am I going to protect these? I need to go through um, and buy like plastic sleeves for all of these things and catalog them. Well, when do I have time for that? But
oh, that's what you meant by protecting them. I thought you were gonna get like a gun and protect them.
no, no, just like some of them I have just like they're just not being taken care of properly. They're like in cardboard boxes and not in sleeves and
Yeah. Oh, so they're just loose. They're not even in like the little like white sleeve.
well, it's a mix match. But yeah, there's definitely some that they're not getting the love they deserve. And I feel
You're just leaving them out. You're leaving them out there in the cold, Matt, figuratively and literally.
I know, and I do. I feel bad for them, but I got to take care of them somehow. But I'm still kind of unpacking. They're unpacked but not organized.
Sure.
So that's all still coming. It's a
What's
work in
your
progress.
oh, it always is. It always is, right?
Dude, there have been almost every move I ever made. that the collection has weaned down in those final days of packing. Like, you know what? I think I'm going to pull out like 100 of these that I definitely don't want to take with me and just leave them like in a basement corner.
I was going to ask what you did with them because I was kind of upset that I haven't been ever contacted to be like, hey, you want these 100 records? Because I would have said, yeah.
Yeah, I've got some weird random ones that sometimes I just go through it and it's like some of these, sorry, but you guys, some of you aren't coming with me.
It's been a good time, but we gotta go.
All right. Can't get the
Um,
cut. Can't get this hatchback closed. Somebody gotta go.
um, on the now when you buy off of, so you still buy off of Discogs every once in a while, or no, or at least if
It's probably been like 6 months since I made my last Discogs purchase, and it was a promo copy of. Sorry, I got a dog snoring in the background.
tell them to knock it
um,
off.
oh, now I'm not gonna remember what it was. A James Brown promo. Um,
That is a that is a loud snoring dog.
yeah, he is a bulldog. Chat. All right. Um, I'm not gonna remember. I have
So
to look at my history. It's a great one though. It was a James Brown. It was a promo. No, I
oh
was
really,
telling.
Chet? Does Chet want to get in on the podcast?
He does. Chet does.
Tell Chet if he buys some vinyl, then we can talk to him. But until then, he's got to put
Um,
aside.
yeah, I'm not gonna remember. It was a James Brown promo. I'd have to look it up in my history. It's been at least 6 months.
So when you
I'm
were
not sure
purchasing,
what it is now. I was
when
like,
you
I
were,
gotta have this. I have to
yeah,
have it.
yeah, must own this. When you were now, does the condition matter to you? Like when you were purchasing
No,
things on Discogs, how like what how much does that factor in? Because obviously the cheaper ones are like the lower graded copies.
zero. I do not. I've never had a problem. I don't specifically care if it's like in mint condition or if there's scratches on it. I don't typically care.
So even if it impacts the playing of it, like even if if there's like pops where it's like you miss.
I haven't had ever received any that are that bad where
Okay.
they would play or they skipped. Um Not even in like yeah, I haven't had any. I've had some that look pretty beat up, but
Yeah.
when you clean them, I don't know. I think typically when you give them a little give them a little love.
Oh, so you clean yours.
I will wash them down.
See, I
If
got
there's a problem, I honestly haven't had any problems though. I
I
can't
got
think of a problem that I've had. I mean, if there's one like this actually cracked or something,
yeah.
but I've never bought one. I've never gotten one online that arrived and was unplayable. So maybe I've just been lucky. I've never really had that. Have you had that?
No, I haven't had that, but that's because I'm very high maintenance. So I've never cleaned any of my records. So when I purchase them, I only shop like near mint. Like I'm only going for the near mint ones because I don't like I wanted to just play nearly flawlessly and not have to worry about it because I know that I'll take care of it as far as like my storage and everything. Um,
Uh,
it's easier for me to maintain if it's already at a high quality rather than me trying to
right.
restore.
Well, I know that because I don't take very good care of mine, that it doesn't really. There's no reason to get them in mint condition. And I've
Right.
gotten a lot too from just thrift stores. I've gotten some pretty beat up records,
Yeah.
and um, and I don't have like a really high end turntable or anything.
What kind of
Um,
turntable do you have? Do you mind sharing with us?
right now, and I'm not going to remember even. I want to say it's a Panasonic right now, but
Okay.
it is the one I've got set up right now is like an automatic, um, just a Panasonic. Like it was my uncle's old turntable that has like the push button where you can
Yeah.
advance, have to pick up and move the needle. I've got a couple Gemini turntables, like the mass produced DJ sets.
Yeah.
Uh, but they're so big. So I settled in with this old Panasonic one that has the push buttons where you can advance the tracks and it automatically lifts the needle and everything for you. And you can queue up the tracks, which I do find is pretty nice. The only thing was the dust cover was cracked. Had like a clear dust cover, but I just threw some tape on that.
What kind of tape did you use?
Clear tape, just clear
Oh,
tape,
nice, nice,
pack
nice.
tape.
um,
I broke it
you know the.
myself.
Oh,
I broke it
okay.
myself in a move. I think something dropped on it, and I'm like, no.
You saw it falling towards it in slow motion. No.
But I do. I still. I research turntables a lot. I
Okay.
like the stuff out there. I would love to, someday get one of these like $600 to $800 range turntables.
Yeah.
But I really have to invest in my collection first. Putting any of my records on there, I don't know. I think for what I have, I've got a good setup for what I've got. For how much I even listen anymore,
Yeah.
um, I'd have to turn my lifestyle around to have a more vinyl centric uh, lifestyle, which I finally got. Like I moved in no, yeah, October, and I think I finally got my turntable set up maybe a month ago
Okay.
with speakers. Like I finally got the speaker wire ran. I debated for a while if I was going to switch over to like some kind of wireless system because I've got an old receiver, old
Yeah.
school with a receiver and giant speakers
Yeah.
with speaker wire, and that it just takes up so much space. And
It does. It really takes up a lot of
it
space.
was really like, do I really want to do this in this new place, or do I want to like upgrade my system to something like more streamlined?
Yeah.
Which is another reason I use that Panasonic because it is that turntable. I bet you it's from Radio Shack in the 70s
Oh wow.
or
I want to
maybe
see this bad boy.
maybe 80s. I'll send you a picture.
Um, the last record that I ordered on Discogs, I think it was Tuesday. This was like an maybe early to mid '90s minor kind of hit. I think it was minor, maybe it wasn't huge. It was definitely a one-hit wonder. There was a song called "My Love Is the Shh" by Something for the People. Does that ring a
Oh,
bell?
yeah. I
Yeah.
Bell.
Do you remember how it goes?
No.
Are you lying and you just don't want to sing it?
Mm, no.
That wasn't very convincing. But I was looking at like two near mint copies that were shipping from the States. Because usually a lot of the dance music that I buy, it's like that's what ramps up the cost is like it's shipping from fucking England or Sweden or Australia or like all the places that have all the dance music, right? That the States never fucking bothered getting. Um, but this one, obviously, like the R&B and hip hop, there's a lot of United States sellers. So I was like debating for like 2 minutes because like one seller was like the way that he described it, because like you can describe, like, oh, plays great, sounds like new,
Right.
looks beautiful. Like one of the seller's descriptions was like, I didn't like buy it. I didn't like I didn't like believe what he was saying, but he had like 100% like approval rating, like from all of his
Hmm.
previous sales. And then the other seller who I thought was more genuine and he was like more honest with his description. I forget what he said, but he had like 99.7%. But I was seriously sitting there, like the price was the same, the shipping was the same, and I was just like sitting there for 2 minutes, like which one do I go with? Which one do I go with?
Who
Because
do I
like
believe more?
like I don't believe this guy, but he's got 100%. But this guy, I feel like I would vibe with this guy, but he's only got 99.7. Then I'm like, we're talking about fucking 0.3 of a percentage point. I'm gonna go with 99.7 because I think he's being real with it, and so that's the one that I got.
Oh, were you happy?
Well, I haven't gotten it yet, so
Oh,
I
you're
don't know.
waiting for it. I remembered
Yeah,
my last purchase now. It was a promo James Brown.
yeah, you've told us that 3 times. It was a promo from James Brown.
I remember the name though. It was If You Don't Give a Doggone About It.
Ooh, I
Do you
don't
know
know that
that
song.
one?
No.
Oh, you got to find that one.
Do you want to
It's
give
one of
us
the
a
greatest.
little? Give me a
It's
little
one.
sample.
Give you a sample. I can. Hold on.
Like I wanted you to sing it maybe a little bit, and by a little
Oh,
bit I mean like a couple seconds,
like
or maybe.
if you don't give doggone about it. Come on, you don't know that song?
I do. I am very unfamiliar with this so-called Godfather of Soul.
Oh, you know his nickname.
I heard he was the hardest working man in show business,
He was.
and I learned both of those from the 1980s classic "Just One of the Guys." So
What was that?
I learned both of those facts about James Brown, his nicknames from "Just One of the Guys," that 1980s movie.
Oh yeah, you remember him just from Rocky.
Oh, Rocky Four.
Right, Made in America. You not know this one?
I don't know that song, but I mean I was nodding my head as soon as the beat kicked in, so that's got to be
Yeah.
something.
All right, that's a touch. Wow,
It sounds
that's a
like a good
keeper.
one.
It's a great one. It was one of those like I had it in my watch list, and so when I got the email that there was one available, I was like, I have to. I have to.
I don't have a choice here.
No.
Well, so since you did us the favor of giving your personal vocal stylings on that track, I'm going to honor that and give the one part of the chorus of my purchase of
Oh, great.
something for the peoples. My love is the shh. So here it goes. And since I
Right.
don't have it yet, so I can't just play it like you did. Um, but I think it was, "Girl, you'll never find another as good as
Oh, that's
this."
right. Because
So you
my love
ready
is
to
the.
sing? Cause my love is the shh, the bomb, baby, the bomb.
I
Yeah,
do know that song. Yeah,
yeah. And you would
that's a
describe it as
great one.
a hit. Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Um,
I always thought that was called "My Love Is the Bomb."
well, see, this is why this is where I have problems with you, Matt. You don't buy vinyl anymore. You don't know what the name of the song was, or any song for that matter.
It's true. I don't know the name of any song.
Um, so listen, I wanted to switch gears because I thought of this. Well, maybe I already talked to you about this. You may have been there. It was at shout out to Eric and Beth. It was at their place, like I don't know, probably like a year ago. Maybe it was 2 years ago that I kind of spit out this idea that I'd been thinking of, and maybe you were there. There's a chance, obviously, that you were there. There's a chance that you were not, but I had come up with an idea, and this recently popped back up in my head. Like, I really want to approach Todd Bridges about this. I came up with an idea about a spin-off of Diff'rent Strokes. Did you hear about this before or no?
No.
Okay, good. Then I'm going to share it. Um, and you hopefully won't be bored because it's not the second time you've heard it, it's the first time. So, Todd Bridges. Do you know who Todd Bridges is?
Yes, Willis.
Yes, he played Willis Drummond, Willis Jackson, and then I don't know if he ever took Drummond's name, but that's neither here nor there. So, out of the original cast of Diff'rent Strokes, he's the only surviving actor. Uh,
Correct.
maybe Pearl's still alive, and I mean the original cast. So like, obviously Gary Coleman's dead. Dana Plato is dead, and Conrad Bain obviously probably died like in 1988. Nobody even noticed.
Whatever happened to the little redhead kid?
He's still alive. He was in not only was he a regular star on the Nickelodeon early 90s show Salute Your Shorts, um he was also in T2 Judgment Day. He had a small role in that movie as Edward Furlong's like little biker friend.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he had himself a nice little career after that. But
That's
so
good.
he's still alive as far as I know, and I hope he is because he plays he's I've got a role for him in the spinoff.
Oh,
So
good, good.
yeah, so my idea for the spinoff is this. So you know the story of Different Strokes. Arnold and Willis, I think their mom died and like she had worked for Mr. Drummond, and so like he agreed like before she died to like take care of her boys, right? To like raise them. So they went from their impoverished neighborhood to what is it, Park Avenue or wherever he fucking had like
I
that.
don't remember the street, but yeah, the
Yeah,
penthouse.
yeah, to the penthouse, from the poorhouse to the penthouse. So,
Yeah.
and that was the thrust of the show. These two young black kids being raised by this white family in fucking posh surroundings. So, what I want to do, because now Todd Bridges, I looked it up the other day, he's like 53. So, I want to pick up the story like after Different Strokes ended and like years and years and years passed. Mr. Drummond passes away. Um, Maggie, who was the little redheaded kid, Sam's mother in the show, played by Dixie Carter, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
She, so like when Mr. Drummond, so like all this stuff happens off camera in my head. This is the story that's going to be told. Mr. Drummond passes away, and through various um, shady dealings, Maggie is able to like keep any of Mr. Drummond's wealth from going to Willis. Like she totally pulls shady shit. She was a
Hey.
shyster. So she has all the shit, right? And Willis is left out in the cold, and he has to move back to his impoverished neighborhood. But here's the thing. His steps, they would be stepsisters, right? Like step siblings if him and Kimberly or half, yeah,
Yeah,
step
half,
siblings. So
half.
so Kimberly, the actress in real life, died a while back. So in the show, she's also dead. And then obviously
Right,
Arnold's dead in real life, and in the show, he'll also be dead.
right.
Everybody's dead except for Willis and Sam, the redheaded kid, and Maggie, the evil stepmother, and Pearl, who was the third housekeeper, who was the youngest one. So that's why she's probably still alive. Like the story's going to take like 30 place after Different Strokes ended. Um,
Right.
but Kimberly, the character Kimberly, before she died, she had two little sons, two little white boys. So this show is going to be
Oh,
Willis takes the two little white boys who had grown up in this, amazingly wealthy lifestyle. Now he's the only
to
one who will
raise them
take
in
care
the
of them.
hood.
He's going to raise them in the impoverished neighborhood. And so it's going to be going, it's the reverse of Different Strokes. It's going to be
Right.
called Different Folks, but instead of a sitcom, it's going to be like a serialized drama show. It's going to be like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Like the
Like
top.
yeah. So, and then Sam, the redheaded kid, he's like in his 40s, and he's like strung out on meth, and like so he like comes to crash with Willis too because his jerk of a mother Maggie like wants nothing to do with him because he's a loser. So Sam's on the show, Willis is on the show. These two little random ass white boys who now have to grow up in an impoverished neighborhood and see how, just like Willis and Arnold got to see how the other half lives. Now these boys get to see how the other half lives. Um, do you think there's any legs here? Does this idea have legs?
I think it's got some. I think you got some good ideas. I
I,
like where you're going with it.
I feel a
I
bud coming.
here. I feel the butt. I feel the butt would be, and just to be critical for your own
Sure.
benefit.
Yeah.
I think that the Dixie Carter might not agree to be a part of a project where she plays that kind of role in. I think that you might need to find a different way that they end up losing their money. other than Dixie Carter just being a like for whatever reason.
Well, you know what? I was
Like,
going to pitch it.
I think you can do the same thing and maybe have Dixie Carter still be a part of it. Just you maybe just find a different way for them to lose the money. I don't know.
Huh. I mean,
Or
I
just
guess.
not have Dixie Carter be a part of it. Maybe she's dead too, even though she's alive in real life.
Well, that's
They
what I was
lost
gonna do. Like, if she doesn't want to be a part of this project, then I would just I would write her character as I envisioned her, this evil person, and then I would just have somebody else play it. Like, fuck it, replace the actor.
right. I mean, anything could. I mean, Kimberly could have inherited the money and squandered it. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess I could say that Dixie
I'm
Carter
trying to,
maybe
and
got.
maybe it's my own memory. My own memory of the show just doesn't have me thinking like that would seem like a major character turn for that for her character. Be like, I mean, what would be the impetus for her to just like turn on the whole family? Or maybe all the money. I don't know.
I
I'm
mean,
just hearing this. I'm just hearing this for the first time, so that's my gut reaction. I'm just like, maybe I'm just like personalizing it too much and being like, no, she was such a nice woman. Why
well,
would she? Why would she put Willis out in the street like that? Why would she withhold the funds?
so I appreciate your criticism here because it is needed. But I would say that why do you think Dixie Carter, if you remember her character, she was demonstrably younger than Conrad Bain in that show. So
Oh well,
why
yeah.
why do you think this divorcee who has this redheaded kid who is a little kind of a punk, is like 6 years old, little asshole, why would she have pursued this like 94-year-old dinosaur in the first place? It could have only been
He
for his
was.
financial standing.
It was well. I'm sure that had something to do with it.
I'm sure it had like
I
96% to
thought
do with it.
though, I thought that her she fell in love with him because of his love for those kids for Arnold and Willis. I thought that was part of it, and she needed a dad for that little
Little Sam.
boy of hers, little Sam.
I don't know if you remember what Conrad Bain looked like.
Yeah, that was well,
So, nobody's falling in love with that old bastard. I'm
he
telling you.
he looked a lot better than Anna Nicole Smith's husband. That's for sure.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. So that's okay. So I guess he's got one up on on Anna Nicole Smith's dead husband.
I'm just yeah. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I'm just trying to think how you could save it because then you could get Dixie Carter in it. I just or maybe Dixie Carter would commit to that role. Would she even be a part of it, or she would not?
We'd certainly pitch it to her.
It becomes like this female empowered mommy warbucks kind of lady.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's some kinks to work out here, but
No, I
I
love the whole
feel
idea though, where Arnold and or Willis ends up raising the two white kids, the role reversal.
yeah, but I also think it's important that it's not a sitcom. It's not a 22-minute like everything gets
Right,
solved in 22 minutes. It's a serialized drama where they're facing like they get to see like the real problems in America
right,
and like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that's important.
yeah.
Well,
I think it would be good too. Maybe if those kids, do the little white kids, do they grow up a little bit with some of the money, so they have a change, or they're just raised only in the hood? Because that was part, even though it's different. Because actually, there's no shows like that at all anymore, like there were before, where everything gets wrapped up in 20 minutes.
right.
It's because everyone's on to how bullshit that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Um Everybody kind of fucking woke up. Now I'm imagining that the kids he probably gets the kids if Willis is going to be like 45 to 50 in this show, these kids are going to be like I guess like teens at least. Just the numbers they'd at least be in the teens.
Too. If
What's that?
Willis is you know what else would be great? If Willis is a DJ that makes makes mixtapes in his basement.
Why would that? I mean, Why would that be great?
I'm just trying to work vinyl into it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, and that could be part of the opening sequence, right?
Willis has a record store.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, here's another. Oh no, wait, because that'd be a different neighborhood. Do you remember the very special episode of Diff'rent Strokes where that bicycle shop owner tried to
Yeah,
molest Arnold and Dudley?
yeah, the boss from WKRP.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna say maybe Willis's record shop would be on the former site of that bicycle shop. But
It's still like closed up. Everybody
yeah,
walks by. That's
but
for that
I
pedophile.
yeah, I'm not laughing at pedophilia, just the fact that like out of all that show, like all those throwaway episodes, like a billion garbage 22 minutes, and then it's like all of a sudden they like hit you out of nowhere with like, oh shit, Arnold and Dudley are in for some
You
real
know
shit
what?
here.
You know who else is still alive that was on that show? Mr. T.
How old is Mr. T?
I don't know.
I do know that Dudley's still alive.
Cancer.
What's that?
He beat cancer. I know he had cancer pretty bad for a while, and he survived. Still surviving.
So you
Yeah.
can't name any song titles that you like, but you know that Mr. T survived cancer.
Well, I remember because he helped. You know who else might be alive still is the Gooch.
Oh, they never showed the Gooch.
No,
Maybe that would be like a big reveal on the show. Is that the
maybe
Gooch
the
fucking
Gooch
like
got their
this is the
money.
Gooch?
Maybe the Gooch got their money.
Oh
That
shit.
was good. Like a Biff from because they never showed the Gooch. You don't have to show the Gooch in the new show either. You just know that the Gooch had their money. Because that's why I remember Mr. T. Because Mr. T helped Arnold stand up to the Gooch.
Why do you want to defend Dixie Carter's character Maggie so badly that you're willing to bring the Gooch back into this? That's my question.
The Gooch is such a great character with such a great name.
So, oh, here's something else that I thought of the other day. So, the actor who played Dudley, he's still alive. Now, I don't know if you
Oh,
realize this.
I did not know that either.
So Shavar Ross is still alive, and like I think it was right after Different Strokes ended, he starred in Friday the 13th Part 5. Do you remember that at all or no?
I did not.
Yeah, anybody with a life would not know this. So that's why I know this. So I was thinking, like, Willis could run into Dudley, like, in the show, and, like, he'd be asking Dudley, like, man, I haven't seen you in, like, 30 years. Like, what's been going on? And, like, we can work in the mythos of the Friday the 13th experience that Dudley had. He could be like, man, Willis, it was crazy. After I, like, stopped, after I had that falling out with Arnold, or we moved away, and that's why I didn't see you guys, like, my mom sent me to this summer camp, and like I was having all this fun, and then like this crazy psycho fucking killed like 8 people, and I'm like still traumatized by it. Like I thought that would be cool to like
Oh, that would
bring
be
those
good. Yeah. No, I'm serious. That would be cool. I like the different universes into it.
Willis would be like, man, you're fucking full of shit, and then like Dudley, they go to the library and they like bring up on microfiche like all these like Camp Crystal Lake news clippings from
Right.
there. So yeah, I may have thought a little bit too much about this, but
It's
it
a good
sounds like
bit of fan fiction you got there.
yeah. So it sounds like I can count on you for the eventual Kickstarter.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Ginger, and I appreciate you you joining us for the podcast tonight. I don't know if you had any final thoughts, if you wanted to talk about anything, or plug anything, or say anything, or let your dog interrupt the show again.
No, well, that's all I got right now. I'd like to do it again.
Oh well, I'd like to have you back.
Yeah, have me back.
All right. Well, thanks again, and I'll be talking to you soon. I definitely want to come out and check out your setup now that you've got the turntables and everything set up so that you can actually listen to vinyl. I want to bring some records by.
I did one of the first albums I tracked down to make sure that I still hadn't lost was my Pac-Man Fever album. It's one of my favorites.
Was that like a disco record with Pac-Man?
See that up. It was. Yeah, you don't know about Pac-Man Fever?
I know of it. I don't think I've ever actually heard it.
Oh, well, all right. I'll have a special treat for you.
I'm looking forward to it, buddy. Um, so I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.